Queen Mary's secret meeting with Egypt's president revealed. What they discussed will shock you. Welcome to B News. Behind the closed doors of an elegant diplomatic venue on November 6, 2025, a meeting took place that has sent shockwaves through international diplomatic circles and royal-watching communities worldwide. Queen Mary of Denmark, one of Europe's most influential and diplomatically astute royal figures, sat down for high-level discussions with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of Egypt, marking a pivotal moment in Danish-Egyptian relations and raising intriguing questions about the expanding role of modern monarchs in international affairs. This wasn't just another ceremonial handshake or brief photo opportunity that characterizes so many royal engagements. Instead, what unfolded was a substantive diplomatic encounter between two figures representing vastly different political systems, a constitutional monarch from one of the world's most progressive democracies and the president of the Arab world's most populous nation. The timing of this meeting couldn't be more significant. As the Middle East continues to navigate complex geopolitical challenges, climate change threatens agricultural systems across North Africa, and nations worldwide grapple with questions of women's rights, economic development, and international cooperation, this encounter between Queen Mary and President el-Sisi represents more than diplomatic protocol. It signals Denmark's strategic interest in deepening ties with Egypt, a nation that serves as a crucial bridge between Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. But what exactly did they discuss? Why would Egypt's president carve out time from his demanding schedule to meet with a constitutional monarch? And what does Queen Mary's involvement in this high-level diplomatic engagement reveal about the evolving nature of royal duties in the 21st century? The answers paint a fascinating picture of modern diplomacy, strategic partnerships, and the unique soft power that royal figures can wield in international relations. If you're captivated by royal diplomacy, international relations, and the hidden stories behind high-level meetings that shape our world, you absolutely need to subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that like button, ring the notification bell, and drop a comment telling us what you think about Queen Mary's expanding diplomatic role. Your engagement helps us bring you more exclusive coverage of royal news and global affairs. To understand the significance of this meeting, we must first appreciate the unique position that Queen Mary occupies in both Danish society and international diplomacy. Born Mary Elizabeth Donaldson in Hobart, Australia, she has transformed from a commoner who met Crown Prince Frederik in a Sydney pub during the 2000 Olympics into one of the most respected and effective royal figures in Europe. Since becoming queen upon Frederik's accession to the throne in January 2024, Mary has demonstrated a remarkable ability to balance traditional royal duties with substantive engagement in contemporary issues. Unlike some royal consorts who focus primarily on ceremonial functions and charitable patronages, Queen Mary has carved out a distinctive diplomatic niche, particularly in areas related to women's empowerment, public health, education, and sustainable development. Her background as a marketing consultant before marriage, combined with her experience as an immigrant who learned Danish and integrated into a new culture, gives her a unique perspective that resonates particularly well in diplomatic contexts involving cultural exchange and international cooperation. When President el-Sisi's office confirmed the meeting with Queen Mary, diplomatic observers immediately recognized this as a strategic choice rather than mere protocol. Egypt has been working to strengthen its international partnerships, attract foreign investment, and improve its global image, particularly regarding governance and human rights issues. Engaging with respected European figures like Queen Mary provides Egypt with valuable diplomatic capital and access to influential networks. For Denmark, meanwhile, Egypt represents a crucial partner in multiple domains. Egyptian stability affects European security through migration patterns, counterterrorism cooperation, and regional geopolitical dynamics. Egypt also serves as a gateway for Danish businesses seeking to expand into African and Middle Eastern markets. Furthermore, Egypt's management of the Suez Canal, through which approximately 12% of global trade passes, makes it a nation of strategic importance to Denmark's shipping and export-oriented economy. The meeting between Queen Mary and President el-Sisi thus represents a convergence of strategic interests wrapped in the softer, more personable approach that royal diplomacy can provide. The substance of the meeting between Queen Mary and President el-Sisi covered multiple areas of mutual interest, though the full details of such diplomatic encounters are typically kept confidential to allow for frank discussion. However, based on statements released by both the Danish royal house and Egyptian presidency, as well as insights from diplomatic sources, we can piece together a comprehensive picture of what transpired during this significant engagement. Women's empowerment and gender equality featured prominently in the discussions, topics where Queen Mary has established considerable credibility through her advocacy work both in Denmark and internationally. Egypt has made some progress in women's participation in public life, with President el-Sisi appointing women to prominent government positions and promoting educational opportunities for girls. However, significant challenges remain, including gender-based violence, economic disparities, and cultural barriers to women's full participation in society. Queen Mary's approach to discussing these sensitive issues reportedly combined recognition of progress made with gentle encouragement for continued reforms, a diplomatic finesse that allows for honest dialogue without causing the defensive reactions that can result from more confrontational approaches. The Queen shared Denmark's experiences in achieving gender equality, including policy initiatives, cultural shifts, and the economic benefits that result from full utilization of women's talents. President el-Sisi, for his part, outlined Egypt's ongoing efforts to combat harmful practices, improve women's access to healthcare and education, and enhance legal protections, while also acknowledging the complexity of implementing social reforms in a culturally conservative society. Climate change and sustainable development constituted another major discussion area, reflecting both nations' concerns about environmental challenges. Egypt faces existential threats from climate change, including rising sea levels that threaten the Nile Delta, home to much of Egypt's population and agricultural land, as well as water scarcity issues related to both climate patterns and upstream water management. Denmark, meanwhile, has positioned itself as a global leader in renewable energy, particularly wind power, and sustainable urban development. Queen Mary highlighted opportunities for Danish-Egyptian cooperation in green technology, sustainable agriculture, and climate adaptation strategies. The potential for Danish companies to contribute to Egypt's ambitious renewable energy goals, including massive solar and wind projects, represented a concrete area where this diplomatic engagement could translate into practical cooperation. The conversation also touched on education and youth development, areas where both Queen Mary and President el-Sisi have expressed personal commitment. With Egypt's population skewed heavily toward youth, approximately 60% of Egyptians are under 30 years old, education and job creation represent critical priorities for the nation's future stability and prosperity. The broader context of this meeting reveals fascinating insights into how modern monarchies maintain relevance and contribute value in contemporary international relations. Constitutional monarchs like Queen Mary occupy a unique diplomatic space. They represent their nations but without the partisan political associations that can complicate interactions between elected officials. This allows royal figures to build relationships and facilitate dialogue that transcends political cycles and ideological differences. When Queen Mary meets with President el-Sisi, she isn't negotiating treaties or making policy commitments, those remain the prerogative of Denmark's elected government. Instead, she's building bridges, identifying areas of common interest, and creating the personal relationships that often prove crucial when governments need to work together on challenging issues. This form of soft power diplomacy has proven remarkably effective for small nations like Denmark, which punch above their weight in international affairs partly through the network of relationships and goodwill that the royal family cultivates. Queen Mary's meeting with President el-Sisi also reflects the Danish government's strategic approach to Middle Eastern and African engagement. Denmark has worked to position itself as a constructive partner to nations in these regions, offering expertise in areas like renewable energy, water management, agricultural technology, and good governance while also maintaining honest dialogue about human rights and democratic values. The royal family plays an important supporting role in this strategy, with their engagements helping to open doors, warm relationships, and create opportunities for deeper cooperation. For Egypt, meanwhile, engagement with European royalty provides several benefits beyond the immediate diplomatic value. Royal visits and high-level meetings generate positive media coverage that can improve Egypt's international image and attract tourism and investment. They also provide the Egyptian leadership with access to influential European networks and the opportunity to present Egypt's perspective on regional issues directly to figures who, while not holding direct political power, often have the ear of those who do. President el-Sisi's willingness to invest time in this meeting with Queen Mary reflects his recognition of these strategic benefits. The meeting also touches on the complex question of how democratic nations should engage with governments that face criticism over human rights records. Egypt's government has been criticized by international human rights organizations for restrictions on political opposition, press freedom, and civil society. These concerns create a tension in Danish foreign policy. how to maintain constructive engagement and promote positive change while also staying true to democratic values and human rights principles. Queen Mary's role in this context is delicate but potentially valuable. Through personal diplomacy and relationship building, she can potentially encourage progress on sensitive issues in ways that more confrontational approaches cannot achieve, while also demonstrating Denmark's continued commitment to these values through her own advocacy work and public statements. As news of Queen Mary's meeting with President el-Sisi circulated through international media and diplomatic channels, the responses revealed the multiple audiences and stakeholders invested in this encounter. Within Denmark, the meeting received generally positive coverage, with commentators noting the Queen's growing confidence and effectiveness in diplomatic roles and praising her ability to represent Danish values and interests on the international stage. Some critics questioned whether such engagement with a government criticized for human rights issues was appropriate, but most analysts recognize the value of maintaining dialogue and relationships even with nations where Denmark has concerns about governance. In Egypt, state media provided extensive positive coverage of the meeting, emphasizing the respect shown to Egypt through the Queen's engagement and highlighting areas of potential cooperation. Egyptian social media reactions were mixed, with some citizens expressing pride in their nation receiving high-level international attention while others questioned the substance and impact of such diplomatic encounters. Within the broader international community, diplomatic observers noted the meeting as part of Denmark's broader strategy of engagement with strategically important nations across the Middle East and Africa, a strategy that combines commercial interests, development cooperation, and values-based diplomacy. The meeting also sparked discussions about the evolving role of royal women in international affairs. Queen Mary joins a cohort of influential royal women, including Queen Letizia of Spain, Queen Matilda of Belgium, and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, who have carved out substantial diplomatic roles that go well beyond traditional ceremonial functions. These women bring diverse backgrounds, professional experience, and personal commitment to issues that resonate in contemporary global affairs. Their effectiveness in these roles challenges outdated assumptions about royal relevance and demonstrates how constitutional monarchies can adapt to remain valuable institutions in modern democratic societies. Looking forward, this meeting between Queen Mary and President el-Sisi may prove to be more than just a single diplomatic encounter. It potentially represents the beginning of a strengthened relationship between Denmark and Egypt that could yield concrete cooperation in areas like renewable energy, education, and cultural exchange. The personal rapport established in such meetings often facilitates subsequent governmental-level negotiations and agreements. Time will reveal whether this diplomatic engagement translates into tangible outcomes, but the meeting itself stands as a testament to the enduring value of personal diplomacy and the unique contributions that modern monarchs can make to international relations. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think constitutional monarchs like Queen Mary should play active roles in international diplomacy, or should they stick to purely ceremonial functions? What issues do you think Denmark and Egypt should prioritize in their cooperation? Share your perspectives in the comments section below. We read every single comment and love hearing diverse viewpoints. And if you found this deep dive into royal diplomacy fascinating, make sure you're subscribed to B News and have notifications turned on so you never miss our coverage of royal news, international affairs, and the stories behind the headlines.